Are you rolling? Okay. Welcome everyone to the January 14th committee meeting for the Festival of Chimes and Lights. We're going to get started right away with talking about the tree decorating contest and maybe with the Public Works logistics review. Bill, you're on.
Oh.
It went well, you said?
Yeah, it was easier putting them in the pots than I anticipated, and the anchors that I came up with off the top of my head worked out real well, and taking them out wasn't even a thing.
Are they
Quite easy to take out.
They were
She
easy to
took
take
10
out?
of them
You
by
took
herself.
what?
No, she didn't.
Well,
But I was out there supervising.
But are the anchors still in there, or
No,
you
no,
put
they
them
came out with the tree. I tied them around the tree. They're just wooden stakes.
Okay.
Staked them in. I drilled holes in the stakes, top of the stakes, ran my line through the holes, tied them to the tree, and then pounded them into the dirt. And when I pulled them out, they came out with it.
Wow. Can those be reused?
The ones that I
Kind of
saved can, yes.
So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
And how many did we end up with? Was that about
34, I thought.
34 is what we actually ended up with? And, we counted back in the day about 59 planters. And then there was a stray way down here someplace or there. So we might actually have 60 planters. And I think we have enough interest to fill them all this next time. So,
Sounds like it.
yeah.
Just maybe get the notice out earlier, but I have to give the guy at the tree farm, whichever tree farm we use,
Yeah.
they need a notice also. And
Okay.
It's not usually.
Well, I
2
think
days or a
we
week.
should be telling them like now. I don't think that we're gonna have a hard time finding sponsors for those trees. We actually turned a few away this last year. And it was so new, it was such a new idea, and we really didn't have a lot of lead time. Now we know so much more about it that I think we can safely reserve every planter that can hold one,
So we maybe need a good count.
Right.
If we're gonna
Well, there's one
order
that's cracked,
tree.
right, Bill?
Right.
One planter's cracked.
I believe there's one that has a chunk taken out.
Yeah.
Of it.
Could that
No, no.
support a tree, do you think, or no?
Oh, I don't see why not.
Okay.
Have any trouble? No.
We could always duct tape around it, right?
Well, the tree itself will cover up.
They have
that.
some pretty duct
Yeah.
tapes now.
I know,
Yeah.
they're really cool.
Just saying.
Well, I think we should just go ahead and get 60 trees reserved. Randy, you would know, did we have any funds left at all? How does that work with the change of year?
So, because it's a biennial budget,
Right.
it closed. So there's
Right.
no rollover, if you will. So it's all brand new funding for 2019 and 2020. So keep in mind, whatever we spend in 2019, it'll be reduced for 2020. And this year, the 2019 biennial, we were under budget. I mean, we were just, because we had the garland expenditure and the overage of the garland, as well as, I think that was it, because I already budgeted the lights. Some new things, all of that still was captured and under budget.
Mhm.
So we're in good shape for, as far as the last biennial budget.
Good.
And we should be in good shape going forward for this next cycle.
So we have as much funding as we've had in the past in this new budget. And we certainly didn't lose anything in the process of acquiring the trees and the lights.
Correct. I have to go back and look up my notes, because I know for 2019
Mhm.
they did reduce a portion of Chimes and Lights budget because they are waiting for the major projects in 2019 to finalize, and then if there's extra, then it'll be carried over in 2020. And that had to do, I believe, with the 49 fund, which houses our sound system. It houses it's like the miscellaneous catch-all fund.
Right.
I believe it was like 1,100 that they reduced it, saying that if 2019, when they do their mid-review in 2019 and revenue's coming in and everything's good, then they'll put that 1,100 back in there.
But that doesn't affect our advertising or anything else like that right now, does it?
No.
Okay, and that would be just if we needed more lights or some of those
Yeah.
things that we end up wanting.
Yeah,
to
and there was, I'm trying to think if we spent a little bit extra on lights.
I think we did at the end.
I thought so too, and then there was the purchasing of that's what it was, the purchasing of the 10 by 10 or 20 by 20. We purchased a tent,
Yes.
so that came out of that funds.
Do we have to pay the whole thing with Chimes and Lights? Okay, no one
Yeah.
can touch that, you know, right?
That's
I've got
right.
it.
Oh.
I've got it with all
Bill's
the
on it.
Chimes and Lights stuff.
And you know what? If anyone uses, there's just a slight rental fee
That's
that's
true.
going into the Chimes and Lights budget.
And we tried-
$1,100.
1,100.
Yeah, and we tried to think what other places that we could use it for when we were coding it, and I couldn't think of anything that Public Works would put those up for.
The mayor's this and that's, you know, ribbon
This-
cuttings, things like that.
He hasn't used them in the past, I
But
don't
we'll
believe.
just charge him if he does.
No, okay.
That's okay.
That's a good
That'll
plan.
work.
So I believe that based on the 1,100 being short, if you will, it's not
Okay.
really short. I think it's just,
They're borrowing it from us
Yeah,
until
'cause
we can put it
in that
back.
portion of the budget, I also calculate increased costs in things.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Will the
I don't
trees-
think that we'll see any negative.
By
effect
getting
of that.
more, be less. By getting more
I
trees
haven't
or
made-
not, that
I
wouldn't happen.
didn't discuss that with him, but I can find out.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we do that? Why don't we go ahead and put down that we'll price 60 trees?
Okay.
The very same height probably too as last
That
year.
was,
They
I
were
felt it
good.
was perfect.
I did
Yeah, those
too.
are nice trees.
Weren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were
Great.
so pretty. And he actually, you know, I'm doing a little bunny trail here.
Randy, you remember if it was 6 or 7 foot? 6 to 7 foot?
I think it was
They were-
between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can confirm I have the copy.
I think,
downstairs.
Bill, we went with a 6-foot
Yeah.
tree.
Because we
I
need to
remember
take a
that
couple
too.
off.
Right.
Yeah, so I.
Because the 7-foot was a bit more.
Right.
And I think we thought that that was fine, and it really
I
was.
liked it too.
I do know Lorraine on the corner said she had problems with the trees in the high winds, just kind of.
There were only 3 though. I went up and down and there were 3.
I think
But
it's 'cause of
that
the
wind
corner
was
aspect.
really bad.
Yeah, I was
One
surprised they
time-
all stood.
Me
I know
too.
it because that's a wind tunnel coming down there.
And I'm right on the corner.
Yeah.
My tree did not move.
Those trees
So
are so
that was a
good.
good one.
Whatever you
That's
did
why I was-
worked. It was so good.
The library tree next to me, one up, moved back and forth.
Did it?
But that's the only one that really moved
Yeah,
quite a bit.
And ours on the corner didn't budge a bit.
No.
You know, they were. Good job. That's what I say.
Good job, Public
Public
Works.
Works was
It
shining.
was
Yeah,
good.
that's actually Bill. So
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think we should go ahead and kind of set aside 60 trees. We wanted to have 1 or 2 extra anyway, just in case, but they were beautiful. And I'm wondering too, this input, should we keep them up a little bit longer?
I don't know,
When
they
did
were
you take
getting
them
a
down?
little shabby right at the end. That
Yeah.
was just my,
Yours?
but we had, no, mine wasn't.
Yours
But
wasn't. Ours wasn't either. It was
yeah,
really,
some of them were losing
their
you know,
needles. And were they our
yeah.
trees or were they the trees that people brought in on their own?
No, they brought it in mostly. You know, this little Spanish couple that had
Mhm.
their porter thing was falling apart.
Yeah.
But in defense of that, the weather was really bad that 1 week. It hit right before we took them down.
Mhm.
It was, the wind was bad, and so,
Yeah, because you know,
other than that, they lasted
They
really
did.
good.
maybe keeping them up an extra week. People like them so much, like the light.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like that. So I still have my stuff up, you know, okay.
But we usually keep the icicles up longer.
And
you
that's
know,
really
we're-
nice having those. When it's so dark, it's
I know.
beautiful.
I know.
So maybe we can extend it this
Sure.
next year by a week, if that doesn't hurt Public Works and everything. Because we still have to take the big tree down.
Yeah, and we do that. We do that when we come back from, like the week of the 2nd.
Right.
We work on all that.
So, yeah, we could take that down first and leave these up another week as long as they're in
Sure.
good shape. I think so. I can't tell you how much feedback I got and how people love them. People who weren't even from here. just said, that's the coolest thing. Our town should do this. You know?
They'll copy us.
Yeah.
Bremerton
They
will
do.
be the
They-
first one.
Oh,
All
yeah.
copycats.
Yeah, they've almost got their own chimes and lights going now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
It's a compliment, isn't it?
So to remind me, Bill, so all 60 of them can't be tied to the lighting system, right? Is that the why we came up with the 30
I think if
number? Or do you think-
we keep a strict policy of LED lights,
It'll handle all
I
60?
think we'll be fine, yes.
Okay, so that's the key.
We had no problems with 30,
Okay.
at least 32 on that.
Right.
A lot of times those LEDs come with battery packs and you can just,
Yeah, those
Set 'em
didn't
on
work as well
automatic.
though.
didn't they?
No, Kitsap Transit had the battery lights on the corner.
And there was a solar one too that didn't come on.
Right, and
That's
it,
a tough place to get
you
sun
just
out
couldn't
there.
see them. They weren't bright enough.
Really?
And I think they had to redo them or whatever. So the battery ones probably just aren't good enough, but the LEDs are beautiful. And that's what we can do. And we did put it after the fact of LEDs, and I think almost everyone did have them. So I don't think that's going to be much of a problem.
The guy in the corner there that we borrowed his power,
Yeah.
that place is now open as a brewery.
Do you
And
check
they think they
those?
should buy their own tree and put coupons for beer on the tree. That was just my thought.
Well, you know, the candy shop put candy on the tree.
Yeah.
That was the only one that had anything missing from it. And I
Well.
think it was intentional that they put
Yes,
that on there
I think so,
too.
too.
I did not hear from anyone about problems with things
Not
being
one of
stolen.
my ornaments left my tree, which was amazing.
We had a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
know.
ornaments on ours and we didn't lose any.
Yeah.
See,
So-
and we had just 3 little things left that, you know, didn't have the ends of the ornaments, but I'm just thinking of winds or something. So that really we were expecting that we'd
I
have
know.
problems and we did not have
No,
them.
we did.
So that's all excellent. So
And next year, I think we should tell people like Carter's that they cannot put their own tree in. He put a tree in, and it didn't look like our trees.
No.
I mean, it was.
He
it's
thinks
wrong.
because the planter's in front of his shop, he probably owns it, but I don't think he has a right to it.
No,
What
he
we need
doesn't
to do-
own those pots.
No.
Right, okay, but you know what we need to do is figure out the ownership on those and who is the one to enforce that? Is it POPSA? Is it the city?
No, it is POPSA. I already looked into it.
Okay, little Missy here. You're the one that's gonna have to go down there with a big hammer then.
Well, I already told Carter's that no way was he putting his own tree in.
You
So,
already told him?
yes.
For next year?
He is, he shouldn't be that way. That's wrong. And I told him to take it down. And he took it down the
I know
next
he
day.
spoke to our admin and wasn't very professional when he called, and so.
Oh, he is not a good person. Oh, sorry. He is a good person, but he needs to be told what to do.
So maybe what we need to do is when we get the word out about this happening again this next year, we make it clear about the planters and what can and cannot. A reminder kind of thing about the planters. Whose rules? POPSA's?
Oh, no, I think it should be shared myself. The only reason I know it was POPSA, I looked back on the invoices, and Brenda Cross that owned the
Okay.
Sydney, she said no, for sure, that we bought them way back. I mean, we're talking almost 20 years ago. But I've always felt that they belong to the city and us. I mean,
It's kind of a combined
yeah,
effort.
and this event is a city event.
Oh, right, I have no problem with the event. What I'm trying to do is find out where we have some authority.
But I think it would be more authority if part of it came from the city. I mean, like, even though I can talk to John about Carter's,
Right.
people think it's a city event. I mean, you're planning them and,
Right. Well,
We're-
again, it's all year round. It's what's going to happen before that and when we
Sure.
have access, because there were sunflowers and tomatoes in there, you know. And so, I mean, we can't just go pulling out stuff unless that's been established ahead of
Yeah.
time.
well, I'll talk to him.
And we'll make sure that in the guidelines this
Yeah,
year.
sure.
One, I think hopefully it'll be resolved because we are purchasing the trees for
Yes.
every single. It's not a
True.
first. It's not. We're not sure how many type of
Right.
thing. So
Right.
hopefully that issue will no longer become an issue.
Yeah.
And then we'll also make sure in all the materials that the plan is all of them will be filled. And moving
Certain
forward.
dates and
And
here's
maybe
So
we-
make sure if there's
guidelines.
anything in the pots prior
Have
to
it
the
out
date
by-
empty. Yeah.
And when did we want those out? You started cleaning those
Well,
planters out
that's, can I
Yes.
back up for a second?
Yes,
Because
yes.
this really isn't a Chimes and Lights issue, but
No,
it
it
has
isn't.
to do that, now that I know that the city actually don't own that and whatever's put in there. When we go to pull that stuff out and clean those pots out, the people that planted it in there need to know that we are going to do that. Because we've had, when Matt, at my direction, was cleaning those out, a lot of people came out and yelled at him.
Oh, my,
And whether they were owners or just workers, I don't know.
right.
But,
Well,
so
then Popsa just needs.
We've
maybe
heard that
we
as
need
well.
to- We need to
Yeah.
refresh maybe the
rules.
the rules,
Yeah.
the knowledge.
All-
Well, I think it's a gray area, and I think they just plain don't know.
Well, and we
They-
haven't been doing much with them in the past, so
No.
it is new.
It's just an education piece
It
to
is.
the
Yeah,
merchants
yes.
downtown as to
Really.
what we plan or who plans on doing what with those planters at certain
Right.
times of the year.
Right.
And
Also, maybe somewhere, maybe in writing or something, let the merchants know that when the city's down there watering them, we're doing it as a courtesy.
Absolutely. I
And-
agree. And we have told them that.
The community service right now, Matt, who's coming on board next month, Public Works, is doing the watering down there, and there's many times he's gotten yelled at because they feel like they're not being watered enough. But they're
Now,
being,
he's doing the watering, how is that?
they have a.
Oh, you mean the crew that comes?
Yes,
Oh, I
and
know
they pull
him.
they
Oh,
pull a
good.
wagon with buckets of
Oh,
water
yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
So. No, that had nothing to do with Chimes and Lights, but.
No, but
it's-
it's.
Okay, you know what? I think right here, this corner needs to put together some information about the city planters, just to clear up misunderstandings.
Right.
And I think what we need to do is establish the ownership and the care. The city is donating the watering services. When it comes to Chimes and Lights, the city is putting in the planters and they need to be emptied by a certain time.
Yeah, because we're not planting plants in them.
Right.
So whoever's planting the
That
flowers,
is
if
the
they want them
concept.
saved,
They should
They
take
could
them
take
out.
'em out,
I see
yes.
some daffies and stuff coming up in some of them.
yeah,
Well,
the bulbs.
we have bulbs
Yeah, the
in all
bulbs
of
were.
them.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Kathleen showed some concern about the bulbs, the way I was gonna plant the trees.
But they
didn't.
still are coming
Yeah,
up
you could cut a
No,
bulb
we
in half
put-
and it would
we
still,
plant
still you get
bulbs.
two.
Okay.
every
Yeah.
year.
Okay, so that's not a problem. But there are several businesses that actually put in their own little trees, and we see that down by Wisteria
know.
Lane, I believe. So, okay, and that, we'll just, you know what, it's education.
That's
We
true.
don't want misunderstandings, but people need to know ahead of time. We're just establishing some information, or bringing it to light. It's been there all along, but we haven't done much about it.
That's true.
And we can find out from you about the plantings and when that happens.
Mhm.
maybe they don't know that there's bulbs in there.
You
They
know
see
what?
an empty planter and they're like, I need something, and shoves it in there.
I
They were
think-
probably absent that day at the meeting. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just to get it in
Sure.
writing and to get
Yeah, I
it,
think in writing is the best. thing.
we'll just give that to every single business owner.
Yeah, I have told, I can't tell you how many times I've told them, but in writing, this may be a little different.
Well, and
it's just
especially
the
if
way
we've
it
got
should
both of
be.
our names on it, if we've got,
Yes,
and just saying, to clear up any misunderstandings
that's
for
right.
the future.
That's a good idea.
And that you usually pull everything from those planters about the end
Well,
of September.
it was, I remember this, it was the week, just before the weekend for Girls' Night Out. Was that the event that was happening downtown
Mm-hmm. And what was
or?
that?
And they were like, whatever was planted in there was like little sagebrush, little dead stuff, and we've had, Matt had some people mad because.
Yeah, because they pulled it specifically at the request of POBSA to pull those out so it looks nice and clean for Ladies' Night Out.
and-
Oh, yeah, and you know what? We said that we were gonna start selling, actually selling the planters the weekend after school started. We had a date that we put down. And actually, that's when people can pay and get their exact planter. Now we're actually have it that if someone has had a planter there before, they can kind of call us and say, we're interested again. We prefer this planter, but it's when the monies come in. And don't we have to have another allowance for collecting money again, Brandy?
Yes. So the resolution approving the funds, that'll have to be prepared in, there's some comments that probably needed to present it a little, not present it, but add some stuff in there so that way, because what happened last time is, I think we said $50.
Yes.
And all of it was gonna go towards the trees. And so what we could have done is change the language that says it's going to be $50 donation, and those funds are going to go towards the purchase of the trees and other expenses or
Miscellaneous.
Yeah, I mean, we can't just say miscellaneous. We have to put some sort
Right,
of
some
other
sort of-
things. Awards. I don't know if we can do words, but that's just an example, like awards or public works staff time to whatever.
Or the
So we were
stakes
going
that you're
to
putting
add some
out,
additional
things
language
like
in there,
that.
so that way if, if we needed extra funds because we were short, and we could go towards that. So
Okay.
that's the only really,
Will we be able to keep it at 50? Is that what we're thinking?
that's gonna be,
I think so.
when we ask him, it depends if he raises his prices,
Yeah,
but.
that's-
Yeah.
That would be the key.
Right, well, I think if
After
we
you
are
find
reserving
out.
this early, and that many trees, we probably can at least keep the price we had this year. 50 seemed to be a good price point for people. I thought it was gonna maybe be a little high. Most people said that was fine. So,
If you think about $50 for as long as those trees were up and the advertisement, they couldn't even get an ad in
Right.
the paper for
no,
that.
we had them on the
Really?
website, there were several ads where all the listings were there. It was good
She pushed it through
recognition.
Facebook.
Mm-hmm,
I thought it was great.
yeah, so, okay.
So just to clarify,
Yeah.
okay, which is on the next one, so the tree reservation form, so the understanding, and it sounds like that we're doing it similar to our special events and, our special events basically, is that, if they want the same planter as last year, 2018, then they can reserve it.
Yes.
And then the other option is, or also, do we want to add that, is there some point in time where maybe somebody, for whatever reason, doesn't want to have the same planter or a planter, then we would open it up to somebody?
Yes.
So.
So for now, it's loosely that if somebody just wants to do sort of a verbal reservation, well, if you need to have a form.
We already have, we just got to change it from special event to.
Could they fill it out
tree.
online, Brandy?
No. Well, we can make it writable where they put it, they can type, update the form. So PDF, they can type it all in there, and then they can email it to us.
Why don't we
But
do
not
that?
not a traditional form base, but yeah, we can do that.
Because it's not with handling any funds at that point, it's just a reservation.
And Janine has everybody's email, so she can send out an email to everybody that says, you purchased it last year, you have the opportunity to hold your space
Yes.
at no cost right now.
Write me down for mine.
Well,
And
we've got Lorraine's,
then
Lorraine wanted
probably-
hers.
Me too.
Yeah.
So there we have three.
Everybody wanted theirs.
And I think for just a managing aspect of
Yeah.
it is that we'll probably just have you fill out the form. You
Mhm.
can email it, and then we'll attach it, and then she'll
Yes.
print out a new printout of the planter numbers. And because maybe with us opening up the other ones, maybe they want a different
Well,
one. I
the
don't know.
numbers may change.
You know what? I think
somehow.
Bill and I can kind of keep them the same.
Okay.
What we ended up doing is anything on the other side of Fredericks went higher. So we started our one at the corner of Fredericks on the south side by the dance gallery. That was the number one. And over on this side was 58, 59. And then the Wayward one over by the cafe was 60. So we can keep it like that. I think that worked
Sure.
pretty well. I know it's a
Okay.
little weird, but these are the lesser desirable ones as
Sure.
far as power issues. Now, we did have the owner of that one building allow us to take power from there. So that worked well, and then Dave Jeffcoat allowed power on the Kitsap Bank
We had to
corner.
run extension cord from the back of his building. And
Oh,
I
did you?
buried it in the gravel along the fence, but it was exposed along the, but it was no issue.
It worked
was no-
great,
it was nothing.
Great,
It
yeah.
really worked well.
Oh,
And,
good.
and those garlands coming down the poles and everything.
I love
Oh,
those garlands on.
I know it.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so that's a good idea, Brandy, to have
So they'll
that
just
form.
reserve it to us and get to us by, I don't know,
And on that form, we
Whatever.
could even have a
January.
a
Whatever the first
payment.
date.
Yeah.
No.
So instead of having a separate form for payment, we could even have that as of September, blah, 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 payment made,
mhm.
and then
We'll do
whatever.
the same form.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then-
when is that date? What are we talking about?
June.
So we're gonna open it up first part of September, I would think, right? That first full week of September?
No, it was right after, is
The
that,
school started.
yeah, is that
back.
Labor Day?
Yeah.
What day is that?
It would
So
be
Labor
Labor Day
Day.
weekend.
We were gonna have it the following Monday after Labor Day weekend, that we
Okay.
could start opening
So
that
it's the
up.
first full week of back to school, basically.
Mhm.
Will
the
you
first Monday.
use the same tree
First
farm?
Monday in September,
The second one, because the first
Oh,
one I think is
well,
like.
and that's the ninth.
Probably,
The
since I
ninth.
got a
Okay,
little more lead time.
let's do that.
Okay.
I might do a little more,
So as long as they reserve their
Research, yeah.
spot by September 8th,
They
but
were-
we don't want it to be too far away.
then they can have the same spot, and then when we open it
They
up
were
to everybody
such
else
good
September 9th, it's
trees.
fair
They
game.
are.
Yep.
Does that
I
make
think-
sense? They
but
can
I'm
reserve
pretty
anywhere
sure
from
we'll go
now
back
until
to-
September
his name's
8th.
Yes.
Terry Reed.
Without payment.
I like
Okay.
that.
And then they just need to come, and
Great
probably what
trees.
we'll do is, yeah, so reserve now, and then payment has to be made by September 8th. And then September 9th will be.
Okay.
But what, by September 8th? Yeah, okay.
You wanna-
Well, or say,
Do you wanna do it before then, so you know how many we have? That's,
But when are we reserving them?
so reserving.
now.
Oh,
Anytime now.
Okay.
For no cost up to
with no payment.
no
It's
payment.
a hold only,
Mhm.
with no
Okay.
payment. But as of September 9th or 10th, or whatever date we're landing on, then the payment has to be made to officially get,
Yeah. Is that
yeah,
too
get the
late?
exact planter.
Yeah, so I would say hold it now, and then payment needs to be made no later than September 8th, because September 9th it's going live that anybody can.
Okay,
Get it,
okay.
That's not the right word,
Okay.
but.
So we
Is that
are gonna
okay?
have the ability to accept payment starting September 9th.
I will make sure we do.
Okay.
Okay.
And this resolution will go before the council probably, I'm hoping around April or March.
Yeah,
Because
let's-
they're having a new software program, so we need to make sure that we'll get it nice and early, work out all the kinks, and then probably what I will put on that is reserve your spot now, and then you can pay anytime after April 1st to whatever.
So you.
Because we don't
will-
want to accept payments right now, because we're not set up for it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you'll remind the people that have had.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, now Brandy, I just heard something different from what
Okay.
you just said.
Yeah, I'm.
And
Okay.
you just said that you could accept payment after April 1st. We just were talking about the first time accepting payment as September 9th.
Okay, then I misunderstood. So one, we don't want to accept any money now, and the
Right.
soonest that we would even want to accept money is April 1st.
No, September.
September 9th.
Right.
September 9th.
Anytime that I just don't want anybody to do the reservation form and then we don't have the resolution and everything in place and then the accounting software up to date.
Right.
So if you want to just reserve now and then we don't pay until September 8th, then what's going to happen is if you reserve now and then you don't have to pay until September 8th, right?
Right.
Or 9th, whatever that day is, then what's going to happen is they've already reserved their spot, thinking that they don't have to pay, and then here comes October, they still haven't paid for their spot, and now we have it open, and somebody else could have paid for it. So there has to be some point in time where you have to close the registration, have them pay, and then when you open it up to the general public, it is open to everybody,
Right.
not just the reserves.
So you're
People.
talking about the reserve people,
Mhm.
April something.
Okay.
I just threw out the
Right.
month. It could be,
Yeah.
and it could be September 1st, but there has to be that lag time that once they make the reservation and they make payment, that's final. And then once you open it up to everybody, it truly is everybody because
Well, me being that I know I want, that I could make payment tomorrow. I mean,
We don't want you to.
yeah, okay. Well, I just
You don't want to
want
tell
to
the age,
say
right?
that
And I could
people will
be-
want to pay, I think.
I could be making a statement that is no concern to anybody. I just want to make sure that if somebody reserves a spot and they say, I want planner number 18 because I had it, and then here we go, and they still haven't paid, and we got to go ahead and order
No.
the trees, and then all of a sudden, December, we still don't have any money.
Right. What I
That's my
wanted to
only
do
concern.
be is less complicated.
Okay.
So, right now, it's like, what? Okay, part of the problem is the city doesn't have the capability of accepting the payments right now because we don't
Yeah,
even have
I
a resolution
understand
and
that.
because we've got the software thing going. Once the city has the ability to accept payment though, then it's just that, what do we as a committee think is a good time? I didn't want to even have this happening during the summer months. Do you think that people will be bothered waiting to pay starting in September? So if we had September being the month where we accepted the payments for the reserved trees, and then we open it up October 1st, say? Because didn't we this year just open it up around in October or so?
I think so. It was like
It
that.
So-
sounds about right.
So we can just say that there's, starting in that September right after Labor Day, or,
So that's September 9th, that Monday.
yes,
Okay.
that people can start paying for their held trees.
Okay.
It opens up to the public on October 1st or whatever the most convenient date is. For if you haven't paid for your held tree by then, it's up for the public to grab.
Gotcha.
Then it's all kind of close together. I don't like it being quite so
So
long,
far
the whole
away.
year and all
Okay.
that. People forget. We can send our notices out. It'll happen rather efficiently. They can enjoy their summer months and not be thinking about stuff
Well,
like
and the
this.
split being at September 8th and September 9th, that's kind of a tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's
close.
just
Yeah,
too.
it's all, and it's all confusion.
Yeah.
So we just take away the confusion, we let the city get the software and all that stuff set
Sure.
up, good. We'll have that 1 month to start taking the payments, Janine can get the notices out, everyone's back from their vacations, kids are back in school, kind of
Yeah.
nose to the grindstone kind of time. Then, yeah, just get the checks written, and we're gonna do the same thing with accepting money, can't do credit cards, it's check or cash only, correct? Come to the
They can do
office.
credit card, but it's a
It's a fee?
2.5% fee or something, depending on which card they use. And
Okay,
I don't
could that
know
be
that
done
part.
online, Brandy, or does that have to come to the office like
I
you
think
guys
it's
do?
to,
Okay,
finance.
okay.
Checks are okay?
Yes.
So no matter what, City Hall is where people
Yeah.
have to pay for it. Okay, I
Yeah,
think
and
that
then
sounds good, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's how we
That's
got
fine.
95%
Everything was
of
good.
it, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so just so I'm clear, so we want to go
Yes.
ahead and send out now, reserve your tree,
Yes.
fill out the form now.
yes.
And then once everything's, and then that's all we're gonna do, and then what we get is what we get. And then once I prepare the resolution and it goes before council, we'll have another conversation, I'm sure, at Chimes and Lights to remind the people again.
Yes,
One more time reminder, whenever that will be.
one or more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and we coordinate with POPSA, so we'll
Yeah,
get those
we can-
notices out with
Right.
POPSA too.
And we'll announce it, every meeting.
I think a lot of people are gonna wanna reserve these trees, is what I think. I've
Yeah,
already
right
been
now, I think
hearing.
they're gonna wanna do it right now.
Yeah,
so.
and we can get that notice out and,
Yeah.
right.
Right, perfect. So
Right.
we'll get the notice out and then we'll wait until got our finance department set up to accept
Sure.
payments, and then we'll send another reminder, and then
Right,
Sure.
full blown in
Perfect.
September and October.
good. And you'll have the form, the PDF
Mhm.
with that announcement.
Yes.
Okay, no money, doesn't take any money to hold it until the beginning of September. Then you have those 3 weeks to pay. Otherwise, it opens up for the public to go ahead and take it again.
Yep. And Janine will have something
Yep,
by the end of the week and sent off to you just to have.
perfect.
one
Oh,
more-
this is good.
One more eyes.
Well, and I think too that we're gonna find that a majority of the people who had the tree this year will come back. So we probably have half of our trees already sold,
Yeah.
I think.
you know?
Yeah.
So this is cool.
Yep.
Okay, so, and you've got everything you need there, and Bill, anything more that we would need to give you to make the job easier?
Let's see.
I don't like that one.
You want all of us down there.
No,
You like those
Forgot
beer
your list,
cans?
right?
Yeah.
We're an advisory committee only, so I'm not sure how much our advice is gonna go.
No,
so.
I think what's happening, as far as I know, Matt is coming on board.
Yes,
He called me today, is all happy about that, but he, as far as I know,
Really
he's going
nice
to be the guy
person.
that's helping me.
Okay,
And I think the job is a full-time job, except he's gonna be having his hands in a different areas of public works.
yes.
So I don't know to what extent he's gonna be my help, but he was a big help to me as much as he gave me this year. And
Yeah.
that was my number one concern. And my number two concern was, I made it no secret to Public Works that I got 3 more Christmases left before I retire. And somebody needs to learn this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something, I've been doing this for 18 years and I'm still learning, so. So if he can stay on board and stay focused on that during that time of year, it should be a very
He's
gentle.
tall, handsome, and very strong.
Who's Matt's boss?
He's in love with him. He's right now, it's, you mean in Public Works?
Yeah,
Oh, it'll be Tony.
Tony is his boss?
It will be. Yeah.
It will be.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, when
Yeah.
all of this.
He doesn't start till like February something.
Okay, so we need to talk, okay, to the powers that be about this consistency. Do you have
Yeah, I
any influence
can
in that?
relate that to Mark Dorsey, which
Yeah.
is Tony's boss.
Yeah, I mean, we do need, it's a really important aspect.
Yeah.
If anything, I think this event is growing. I don't think it's shrinking. And I think that we need to have that continuity, and Bill's really,
Well,
he knows a lot, and we don't.
you have to take into consideration this job, like the sound guy last year was upset.
Why?
Well, it was the way we had our tent
Oh, that was the
angled.
year before.
2017.
Yeah, the
I'm
year
like,
before.
2018. What?
Yeah.
The year before.
Right.
So, and I smoothed him over,
Uh-huh.
and this year he was, any way you want to put it, it's fine with me. No, he was very,
It was really
Very
nice.
nice guy.
We do want that stage facing the way it, out.
this year
It was
went
perfect.
smoothly.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. It was just great.
He showed
I
up
think
and.
he had somebody else attending that event.
He had 2 others there.
Yeah, there was a.
Was he
small
there
group.
himself?
Yes.
Yes,
Usually
he-
he's there, but I thought in 2017 he couldn't be there for some
I
reason.
think you're
and
right.
He was
that's-
there. He was there to set up though.
Mhm.
Oh,
He's
gotcha.
the one that got. He's the one that got upset.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, this year it did go well, and we had such great weather. People were
It's
in
great.
really good moods. Yeah. So
Yeah, the
Thank
one.
you for
the
doing
one.
it.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm just doing my job. But there's one
But doing it well.
one aspect that didn't happen that was not a big deal. I understand. Nobody cared. Was the fire pits.
oh yeah.
They didn't get lit because Bob Morehouse, I believe, had to work.
The thing is, he confirmed he was doing it right
Yes.
up until the time.
Yeah.
Now
I
this
had
is-
talked to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we may need to get a volunteer just for that. But are the fire pits still in working condition for another
I
year?
have. I managed to save 4 of them.
Okay.
And they're nice and shiny.
And I think
painted
he
them
did
up.
mention that to me during when I was preparing for the 2019 budget.
Yeah.
So I need to go back and check because I think I have a note
Do you
of how
have it
many
there?
fire pits you wanted, and I think I put some money in there. But I have to
Okay.
double check that.
All right. Well, we can use those 4 for
I
this
can't remember if it was
next
before or
year.
after I budgeted.
But we need to have someone who's actually going to light them. We've had several years now of kind of on again, off again, a volunteer that was going to
Yeah.
do it and couldn't. So we probably need to look into somebody who can manage this.
And we supply everything from the fire pits to the wood to the garbage can to put the ashes in to a hose to put water in the garbage can. So we supply everything. It's just a matter of them making sure nobody falls in.
And
Do you
and
start
show
them
up.
too?
No, we don't do
So
that.
they start them,
Yeah.
maintain it, and put it out?
Well, by the time, all they have to really do is if they have somebody to help them, to take the tub, which the fire pit is a tub, and dump it into the garbage can, whether the coals are hot or not, and
Okay.
then put the water in there.
Okay.
And then we haul it away.
So we have to call for a volunteer for this job?
Somebody that's responsible.
Well,
Yeah.
It is fire.
He is not showing up, Mr.
Well, I didn't mean responsible for not showing up, but I meant he's playing with fire, so you want to.
Somebody strong enough to be able to manage and
Yeah.
handle it.
And understand the importance of fire safety.
That's true. Maybe a fireman.
I remember.
Would that be a
when-
volunteer from POPSR, or would we have to seek a volunteer?
I
How
don't
did
think
this one-
we have
It would just,
ever
well, they're part of
involved.
Fathoms,
Oh,
and
that's
so I
right.
think.
Yeah, that's a Fathoms, well,
They
Mr.
had
Morehouse is a Fathoms.
Mm-hmm.
There was a person, when we put the slate in there was an older lady that was standing around. I didn't know who she was, I just thought she was somebody that was just waiting for the show to start. But she was actually with Phantoms, and she was there to keep an eye on the sleigh.
Oh,
And
really?
she didn't tell me
Well,
until I
You don't
asked
know
her
who
what
that
she was
was, do
doing.
you?
No, I don't remember her
Okay.
name.
well, Sharon will know.
But
If it's a
now whether she
Phantom.
was, it was official or, but she
It could have
introduced
been
herself.
one of the
She,
mothers, or it could have been Helene, or who,
I
an
don't
older
know.
lady though, I don't know.
but actually, she was a big help because that,
Mhm.
when I found out who she was, that allowed me to leave and go
Mhm.
do something else because I was
Maybe-
worried about the sleigh.
Maybe they think the fire pits are part of the Phantom deal, or not.
No,
No,
she
no,
wasn't-
Yeah, Sharon knows.
She
Sharon knows.
wasn't, she
Yeah.
wasn't there for the pits.
We really did. I'll talk to Sharon again, and I'll just say I don't think we can have the same volunteer because it's been tricky for him to get there. But is there anyone else that they may have, and who was that person? But we just need, if anyone is volunteering, we kind of need to say yes, this would be a good job once we know
Mhm.
how capable they might be. So this is our ask, is we're gonna need that volunteer then. I'll put that down.
And preferably under another organization,
Mm-hmm.
just because it becomes
Yes.
quite tricky if they're volunteering on behalf of the city of Port Orchard Chimes and Light events. So everything that we've
Mhm.
typically done is either public works staff or it's fell under some other event organization.
Well, I think we could probably handle it, talk to Kathleen.
Okay,
She's president, so
we'll talk to Kathleen.
I'm past president,
Okay.
but I'm at all.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
we could put it Kathleen and Sharon and, you know,
Yeah.
all the other,
Well,
you know.
Corrine Haddock is our vice president, so
Oh,
we may put that on her and maybe one of.
we could ask Steve Seago if he'd like
I
to
know,
do this.
that's what I was, and he'd probably say yes, if he could figure out a way that it would be good for
Okay.
him.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. That's good. See,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
such valuable input.
Right.
As far as categories to be judged, now you know I got a letter from somebody who didn't sign it, saying that they weren't very happy with the process this past year. I don't think they understood that it was Mr. and Mrs. Santa and whatever.
Yeah, really.
Because they didn't think that the one tree was the most sensational, nor the other tree was whatever. But I was very happy with the selections. I thought, my goodness, you know, Retzel, when I went over there to present the award, they cried. You know, these were people who had made these ornaments, and I was delighted with the
feeling,
process.
yes.
But perhaps that the categories, I mean, what is the most sensational? Everybody has a different idea.
That's-
And you know what? We pulled those things out of a hat because we had nothing, no history to work with. It was just whatever. So as far as categories to be judged, this committee really needs to come up with a few. Maybe that can be our assignment in the minutes. We can be asking committee members to come with some ideas for categories.
Maybe
And
each block should have a winner.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
well, let me think on how that works. Each block. No?
You know, I walked around with Mrs. Santa.
Yes, you did.
And she was, I felt very fair. She didn't have her glasses, so I read off everything about the tree, and she thought it out. It wasn't just her opinion. She
Right, and this was
really
just one letter, and sadly, the person didn't sign their name.
Plus,
So-
it probably is one of the tree people. That's just my thought. If I didn't win, well, let's write a letter.
or lack of.
Yeah.
Well, the
Right.
suggestion was to have, points. So 1 through 50 in this category, and 1 through 50, and that this could happen the day of Chimes and Lights. You know, and I said, no, that is not how it could be done.
No. That
That's
would
way
be
too
good.
complicated,
Yeah.
and you know what happens on the day of Chimes and Lights. Too much.
It's
Plus
just
the
what
pet-
happened to just let somebody look at it and which their thought is their thought and it's beautiful.
Right.
And-
So, to me, the most important thing would be the judges. I mean, who is
Right.
judging it, not,
Well, if we
And I
rotate
thought
that
Santa
out.
was a wonderful
yeah, we
judge.
wrote-
Oh, wasn't it fun to have Santa? And,
Oh,
I mean,
you know,
how
I mean,
non-biased can you be
I
when it's
know.
Santa?
Right. Well, and I felt she was very non-biased. I
Yeah.
mean, she didn't pick them because she
Right.
really read it. I read it
in the middle of
she
the
thought of
rain
it.
too, you know.
Yeah,
and
and
all
she
dressed
didn't
up.
really ask one question of me, so that was nice. She
Mhm.
was doing it, you know, on her own.
But you get too many judges and you get too many hands on the
That
prize.
Oh,
and
I
it
know.
becomes-
And
Plus,
that
Then it
one
doesn't
through-
become fun anymore. It's just
Right.
a process.
This is just supposed to be fun.
Right. I did think the People's Choice was sort of a good idea.
That's a fun one. That one.
Because we had that all, you know, for a month.
That helps.
Right.
And they could just put it in, and that
Now,
was different.
There wasn't
and
a
fun.
prize for that.
Mhm.
And you know what? I don't even have a picture of that tree because it wasn't really decorated in time.
Mhm.
Oh,
But it was decorated in time for the People's Choice, but it wasn't finished, I don't believe, by the time, yeah, the
Oh.
judging came. So, you
but
know,
I think people like that. They kept saying, where do I vote? Where do I put my little card? So they got,
well,
for
the library
town.
works for a People's Choice kind of thing. That works.
Mhm.
And I don't know if we should have that going on at the same time or not. We could. But then, you know,
Well, we just did it through POPSA.
yeah, I know.
And
But,
I think,
but there was no prize connected with it.
no, it was just.
Right. So if
We
there's-
could give them a prize if you felt POPSA could,
This is just something that we need to figure out.
Sure.
We need to figure out who should be judging and
yeah.
what prizes. The council paid for the prizes. So, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get money from the
Well, I
council
think
account.
POPSA could, POPSA gives me some money for baskets. I could sneak out a couple prizes from that,
Well,
you know.
Yeah, and what I did is I got the planters that had little Christmas trees in them, and I put lights on the little tree. So the planters actually had a tree that was lit, and it was pretty fun. They loved them. But all that to be worked on.
Sure.
We'll be thinking about who could be judging, and we'll thinking about prizes. We just have to be careful that public funds aren't gifted,
Sure.
you know, and we know all that, and we're following all those rules.
Yeah.
So, okay, but you know what, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I don't think we need to have a list a mile long. There were wonderful entries, you know, I loved the octopus and all, there were so many neat ones. Oh, what a joy it was.
And some of them decorated the planters or
Well,
whatever.
I like
thought
that
was
idea
cool.
about
I
100
know.
candy canes on the outside.
Yeah.
I think
Good.
people got a lot of ideas from how they were decorated, and they kept changing. Day by day, there was more stuff. It just kept growing, and it
Didn't want to
was,
be outdone.
yeah, it was perfect. It was great. I could be
That was
happier.
cute.
It's wonderful.
Okay, so yeah, we'll work on possibly how we can switch around the judging a little bit, shake that up, and we'll find out about categories, or maybe a tree per block or whatever. Although, see, we don't really, I mean, or a side of the street. You know, it's not very easy because there's only a couple down here.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. To be discussed.
Sure.
This is something we're working
Sure.
on. That's what the
We
committee
have a
is.
little time.
We do have some.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, date confirmations, are you good then?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we got that earlier.
okay. Budget?
2017, 2018 came in, you know, on budget.
Mm-hmm.
And then I haven't had a chance to do
Yes.
2019 yet, but I
Five
will.
bills.
Bye-bye, Bill.
Yes.
I haven't had a chance to
So-
dissect the 2019 yet, but I will get that to you because I know you'll need it for advertising.
Okay,
Um,
do we have the same amount in there? I think we do, don't we, for advertising?
I would say it's the same, if not up a little bit.
Did we get our bill? Are we
Yes.
all cleared?
Yep. Yep, came in as quoted, I believe.
The 16 or something?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good, good.
Yep, didn't have any issues with them.
This is good news, you guys.
I know.
Okay, well, we're moving in a good direction, and I think we will meet next month. So let's go ahead and say there is In the summertime, we're not gonna be, we've got a couple of times we won't meet, but that'll be after we get everything in place. So let's talk about budget next month,
Would be
on the
that'd be
18th.
the
Oh, that's the
seventh.
President's Day. We have the same problem as this month, don't we?
Yes.
You could either go
11th
11th
or
or
the
25th.
And
I'm flying in on the 11th.
The
You know what?
Army.
25th. Let's put down the 25th,
Okay.
So February 25th here at 3:30?
please. That would be good. Because I think utilities will have to be then too. One or the other of us. We'll aim for the 25th, maybe for both. Okay. Let's do that.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you for having a meeting.
Oh, this